Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna be checking Torajiro, because she is a really interesting supported, but she isn't as busted as people might think. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Also, comment what are the best combinations that you know with this supporter, because there's many things people can do with this supporter. I'm gonna show some of them, but there's some conditions and there's some things that you have to take into account when building around this supporter. So the first thing and the reason why this supporter isn't as viable is the percentages of her passive. It says when performing a melee attack has a 15% chance to increase the duration of 2 buffs by 2 seconds. So fortunately it's 2 buffs, not just one. So if your character inherently has 1 buff, it won't be that much of a problem. But you cannot use this with range attackers. Number one. Number two, you have a very low chance to proc this effect. The duration increase is really busted on a sub slot. Because you're not locked to whatever effect this has. We had another supporter like this in the form of this one, Shadow Fairy Igawa Sakura. She has the same passive but better. It's a 25% chance, but it's an extra passive on the main, so you have to use it on the main. And the damage increase is nice and all. This is actually pretty good for Hisui, but you don't want to be locked onto whatever buff this supporter gives you. Which is, as I said, it's fine, but it is better to have versatility. The problem is that among all actives, I have tested what is viable, what is not. I have tested, for example, where is she? I think it's here. I have tested Noah, which gives you super armor and a chunky attack buff, but it's not good enough because you're giving up one space of your one slot for damage. You could be using a support that gives you damage to keep that buff up. So it's like you are now not receiving the benefits of the buff because that would be another supporter that gives you damage, and it is not great. I have also tested this with the other green supporter, Tokiko. Tokiko is also really good. Extending the duration of this is amazing, but it is not good enough. The damage is not worth it if you're giving up the slot for one supporter to increase damage, just so that you can increase the duration of the buff. So the only effect that really makes a difference is invincibility. If you use Shisui, if you use Yuno, if you use Spica, where's the Spica? Where is the Spica? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna go red and I'm going to show you Spica. I bet it's on the. Yeah, here she is. That's why she's not there. If you use a Spica, then it is good. Another thing to take into consideration is that I have tried to use butterfly weapons. This gives you a buff, but it's only one buff, so it's not that big of a deal. To increase the speed of characters and see how they perform, but it is not good enough. A character with a speed increase is not going to be able to proc the effect of Torajiro easily. Then how do we make a use of this? You can only take advantage of this if you use characters that are already fast and they do multi-hit attacks. Multi-hits is the name of the game. So, for example, characters like, I'm gonna move this, Momoi. Momochinagi is one. She's really easy to use. And even though she isn't the best and the buffs, the invincibility buff may fall, she has sustain, so that's not a problem. Then another one super easy is to use Rin. Rin, just with the basic attacks she can do, the enhanced version of the basic attack, she can keep that buff up infinitely. And the same can be said about Felicia. Felicia can do the same with the basic enhancer that gives speed increase. That's really good. Other than that, maybe Sakura. Sakura is kind of acceptable. Dual Edge Fury Flurry is very good because of the amount of multi hits. Another thing that you can use to take advantage of Torajiro is to face multiple enemies and try to focus the boss first. Because the other enemies are going to get around the boss, and then you're going to also hit them. So that increases your chances for proccing the passive. You don't want to eliminate the mobs and then focus the boss. No, you want to focus the boss from the very beginning and occasionally hit the mobs with your attacks so that you have more chances to increase your invincibility. Another thing that you can use, it was discussed, but I don't like that much, is Lionheart. Here it is, Lionheart. I upgraded this just to check the performance, and there's good things and bad things about this one. So, bad thing, this is an SR weapon, so the damage that it deals, it's not on par with the damage that you can deal with a UR weapon. That's a really big disadvantage. But you are able to constantly spawn Valiant Hearts, which are going to give you 10 seconds invulnerability. So it is very good as long as there are enemies. Because remember, though Sakura has good multi-hits on her basic attacks, if you get unlucky, you might lose the invincibility and you might not be able to finish the stage. So I'm gonna test those four, and I'm gonna be using critical Magatamas. I'm gonna test them on tower. I tried with Heviko, I tried with Lina, I tried with Asagi, I tried with a bunch of characters, but one common problem that keeps happening, even Noah, she's pure melee, but a common problem is that they are not fast enough, they don't have enough multi hits, it is terrible. And trying to go for something like Spinel's multi-buff build that is super fast, it's still not viable because you won't be even if you are insanely fast, you don't have enough chances to proc the buff. And since it's going to be applied to one of all your buff randomly, then it's not going to work. So never use Torajiro with multiple buffs, with more than 2 buffs, because it's difficult to keep all the buffs or the important buffs up. So we're gonna start with Rin, of course. She has critical Magatemes. The idea is to go critical because this is a mixed stage. Let's see. Plus, it's 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5, plus 15, plus 13. Volt spin. Super important in case the invincibility wears off, but it is still a good skill to have because of the multi-hits and the HP recovery. Soaring Swallow because of the ease of use. When using invincibility, it's not that difficult to correctly use the skills that go immediately after attack because you cannot be interrupted. And obviously, Taimanin art, Volt Sword. This is super important. Without this, Rin is not going to be able to do this. Another skill that you can use is Volt Rush. It is pretty good too. And since this is the only one that is going to give you a buff, it is completely fine to use it with Torajiro. So yeah, I'm going to change Noah, obviously, for Torajiro and Astaroth. I decided to go with Astaroth because I was doing something different, but here I can go full crit. Astaroth because I was using Noah and I wanted to reduce damage a little bit. But this is different, this is full damage, so I don't need it. And let's see what this can do. So I apply invincibility and I just spam my basic attacks. Like this and this. Oh, I am not good with those follow-ups attacks, but they are viable. And I have to move closer to the enemy because we don't want to waste time. So yeah, try to focus the boss ASAP. A good advantage about having invincibility is that recovery attacks like Edwin's are not going to give him HP while we're invincible because those depend on the amount of damage that they deal. Okay, great. As you can see, I still have the invincibility, and now Juno is the cooldown's down, so I can activate it in case I just lose it because of any reason. So that's the idea. You just abuse the amount of multi-hits. That's what really matters. If you don't use multi-hit characters, you're not gonna be able to keep this up, no matter what you use. I tried Asagi, fast Asagi. I tried fast Lina. I tried fast Spinel. I tried a bunch of different things with one buff, with no buff, with multiple buffs. So yeah. Oh, I used Yuno and I didn't need to use Yuno. Okay. Okay, can I just move a little bit so that I can start hitting him? Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so I am using crit just to deal with everyone. Unfortunately, because of the enhancement of my weapons, I can guarantee crit, but this takes a while. They are strong. For VR, would I recommend this? With these characters, is viable if you want, but it depends on the VR. It allows you to do certain things. For example, now Ring can be used against machines. She wasn't able to. I mean, you could, but you had to be careful because of the knockback. Using her was not really effective, but now she can. Especially since there are mobs and they constantly respawn. That's a good thing. Let's see. So we're gonna use this. We're also going to use Felicia. Felicia, we want to spam there. We want to spam the basic attack and also use rendering sight. It is not the best, but it has melee attacks, so it is acceptable. This is just one hit, so I decided not to go red. This, or mix in this case, because Torajiro is green. Blood sight, it's too slow for 1 or 2 hits. And this one is a launching attack, so it's not viable. So yeah, that's the problem also with Torajiro. Depending on the kind of skills that your character have, if they have, I don't know, mixed attacks, range and melee, then you're not gonna be able to use her effectively. and you're limited to some very niche builds that work, but I mean, they are niche. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I just use the basic and then use just the skill. You can see just the insane amount of multi-hits, and I go closer. I'm going to make a couple hits here just to keep the... and also, she has healing, which is great, you know. Come on, Edmond. No, Edwin. I'm gonna keep making those mistakes, I guess. There we go. Almost done with him. Okay, where is he? Where did he go? Here. Even if I lose the buff because of the of the because he gets away, I still had it up. Had the active already, so no problem. No problem at all. Ah, there he is. Nice. I want to be in front of the main boss. Or not doing anything. That's so funny. With the tornado. With the Beyblade. Yeah. Nice. Okay, Obor is down. Yeah. Ingrid is down. I'm just missing Edwin. Nice. Yeah. As I said, this supporter can be really broken, and that's why they did it only to 15%. But that also means that not everyone is going to be able to use it. Let's see. I said Sakura, but... Momochi, yes. Before Sakura is kind of a special case. So we're going to start with Momochi. We're not going to use Yuno with Sakura. We're going to use Valiant Heart. So, Momochi. What are we doing with Momochi? We're using this. You don't want weapons that give buffs, preferably, depending on if your character already gets buffs with their skills. So, yeah, I'm using the Momochi weapon, this S1 weapon. Okay. So, I'm using Flutter. I'm using Mirage Strike. And I'm also using Storm Dance. Storm Dance is super important to recover HP if this gets down. So the supporters are kind of the same. I mean, you can equip whatever you want. For example, instead of well, whatever you want in the last slot. I don't know, maybe the Founding 3, maybe Minasaki if you're in VR. If you want to increase your speed, you could use... No, this one, no. Speed increase to human? No, there is no speed increase to human. So, yeah, there's not that many options. You could use this one too to deal more damage to the enemies and even more to the boss. So, let's see. Let's see what we can do. For Momochi, you really want to make a lot of combos. Because if you don't, the buff's gonna go down, definitely. I don't like the wind-up animation for that attack, but it's what we have to do in order to do that amount of multi-hits, so I kind of have to accept it. Okay. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Up. Yes. Nice. Now, I missed it. Yeah, well. The idea is that you prolong the buff as much as possible so that you can activate it once again. Let's see. I'm just going to destroy this, move a little bit, and even if I don't have the buff, I have no problems because of the HP recovery. Oh well, in any case. Oh no 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 no! That's the one thing I don't want. Slow is probably one of the worst debuff that you can get against when using this strategy. Nice. Okay, great. Multi-hits. You see how I have to do different combos? It's because Nagi is good, but not that great for keeping the invincibility up. I mean, the best two are definitely Rin and Felicia. Those are super easy. Just doing the basic attacks will be more than enough. Okay, 6 seconds. So I'm gonna be able to use it when the battle starts. So yeah, even though Momochi is not the best for this, it is still viable. Viable enough. Nice. And as I said, we want to focus the main boss as soon as possible. We are going to keep those invincibility duration increase up just by hitting the other enemies while we focus the boss. Yes. There we go. So Momochi is another good character to use Torajiro. And the last one is going to be Sakura, but we're going to do something different. Here I have this. No. This one. Ah. Well, that explains some things. I'm going to do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to check 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5. I'm going to use this one on the back. But first I'm going to put the Magatamas. So like this. And Lionheart. I put 3 critical damage Magatamas. I'm going to need Shadow Tangle, the basic enhancer, and Shadow Claw. Perfect. Just like that. For this one, we are not using Juno. So we want Suruga preferably because of the... no, Suruga is not the one that... you can put whoever you want. In fact, since I have a good amount of S levels, I'm gonna put a different supporter in the form of Akane. And I'm going to put Kaoru on the main to deal with mobs. We want as much damage as possible because we're using Lionheart. So the idea is that we still focus the boss as much as possible. I don't know. I think that the Valiant Hearts have infinite duration. They're gonna be on the stage indefinitely, so you can just focus the enemy, and whenever you need more invincibility, you go pick them up. But it is random. That's the things that I don't like, that they are randoms. The same goes for Torajiro. I don't like the randomness of her effect. 30% or 40%, 50. No, 50 would have been way too busted. 30% would have been balanced enough for everyone to use it. Let's see. Now, what do we do? What do we do? We have everything in order. Yeah, the custom. That's what I was missing. I almost forgot. So, you can only use this strategy with Valiant Heart if you have mobs. For example, Master Taimanin is not viable for this strategy. You have to go with your weapon and use, come on, use, what's the name? Juno. Yeah, use Juno. The ensnare is kind of nice, so that you have control on the enemy and they stop moving. But that's not going to work with all the enemies. We want to move a little bit. Okay, nice. Okay, and here we want to eliminate the mobs, unlike our last time, because of the drop rate. I mean, you could also go for the other way and just attack Edmond, but it is better to have a couple Valiant Hearts on the floor so that you can pick them up when the invincibility goes down, like this. Yeah. Okay, great. Come on, don't move. Nice. Excellent. Okay, my invincibility is down, so I pick the Valiant Heart once more. And as you can see, Edwin is not recovering HP. Advantages of invincibility along with super armor. That's the biggest advantage. Like, well, yeah, no damage. That's also a thing, but the ability to not be interrupted, I think it's more important. Because damage you can recover with HP recovery skills. As long as they don't one-shot you. Which isn't that common, only on higher steps of BR that happens. So let's see. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the ultimate, because I want to chip away the HP of the mobs, and then I'm going to use this. And then, yeah, come on, give me a Valiant Heart. Very annoying, guys. They are not giving me Valiant Hearts. Yeah, if I don't get a Valiant Heart, I'm gonna be in big trouble. I only have one more mob here. I mean, there are the two bosses, but I don't want to fight them without invincibility. Let's see. Come on. 1, 2, and... Okay, I'm not... Oh, Ingrid is almost down. Yeah, not... that's what I don't like about this. Both Torajiro and Lionheart. That you rely on RNG to be broken. It is good for F2Ps because this weapon is easy to get. Lionheart is easy to get because it's SR. Torajiro is free. And you don't need more than one copy of the invulnerability supporters, which you eventually get. Grammary, we're missing more 100 F2P rolls. Please do a campaign. It's about time for this year. And let's see, I'm gonna try it one more time just to finish. Okay. One Valiant Heart. And look just at that. They are not giving me Valiant Hearts. Yeah, that really, really sucks. Yeah, having to chip away the HP of the enemy is very annoying. Relying on RNG. So I mean, this is Tower 100. It is not like it's your event quest. For event quest, for daily quest, for... I mean, you don't want that for daily quest. You want something stronger just to kill everything. But the idea is that you are not able to die. So using this weapon is viable. It is not viable with... who? With Heaviko. Yeah. Heaviko, I tried it with both kind of basic attacks, but she just won't do. Oh my god. And now I won't do because I don't have enough Valiant Hearts on the floor. As you can see, there are no Valiant Hearts, so dealing with Edwin is a hassle. Okay, well, at least. I really hate the bats of Edwin. That's the most annoying attack he has. So, though valuable, though usable, I do not recommend that you over-rely on this for challenging content. Because if you're losing a ton of damage. Oh, Valiant Heart, okay. There we go. Which is going to be lost. Big. I almost forgot that too. The worst enemy of this strategy are not the enemies, are not the debuffs, are the transition animations. Those are the worst because those are going to chip away your time. I have always said that on VR you don't want to use your ultimates. I mean, you want to use your ultimates to deal damage, but the control that you lose... Oh, come on. There. The control that you lose on the enemy is really not good. Let's see. There we go. I managed. Barely, but I managed. The debuffs that you have, the buffs that you have are going to chip away their duration if you use ultimates. So, Gremory, I mean, couldn't you, prolong or not take into account the duration where you're not able to move? You have the animation, and that doesn't take away time. It's the explosions effect that we have after that are gonna be chipping away your buffs and debuffs timer. So yeah, though good, Torajiro isn't like a staple, the best option. As I mentioned before, the biggest disadvantage is that you are not using one slot for supporters to increase your damage. If this had 20, because 30 would make her busted, 20 would be balanced. If this has 20% damage increase against all enemies, or even 30% damage increase with critical attacks, this would be better. But, well, it is what we have, and this is what we can do with it. We can use it with, let's see, who again? Momochi, Rin, Felicia, and Sakura. Don't try it with Heaviko. I did. It is terrible for some reason. Even with speed increase and just 2 buffs, it's really hard. And even with butterfly weapons, I tried with many characters and they are not that viable. So, yeah. What do you think about Torajiro? Is she as busted as people said? Is she good? Is she bad? Is she niche? Which I think she is niche. Let me know in the comments and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!